What is going on, guys? This is Platinum Point, and I'm here to bring you guys another Weiss Schwarz deck profile. This is on my update on Fate Stay Night. I've been testing a variety of builds, and I kind of wanted to just examine kind of the various finishing paths that this deck had. I tried Gold Bar and Door, and now you're seeing a more aggro-oriented Fate Stay Night build in the form of Shot and Stock Soul. I'm using the Archer Stock Soul finisher from Heaven's Field and the Saber Minami combo, which I'll go through when we talk about the characters. So you already know I'm running 4 of each climaxes, so without further ado, let's get on to the deck profile. Starting off with the zeros. So we're still playing 4 copies of the Ilya Akatsuki. This allows you to dig through your deck and pretty much grab all the master traits that you need, including the Free Fresh and your Zero Step, as well as the supporting cards in the deck in this build, which is your early plays and your level 1 supporters. So we're still playing 4 of that. In this build, I'm actually playing 4 copies of the Saber Altar Drop Searcher. The reason why is it's a 3/5 oversized when you have 2 or less cards in stock, and it's probably one of the best red cards at the 0 step that you can use to level up. So you kind of needed I kind of needed a resource utility level 0, and the Drop Searcher was my pick. Then we play 3 copies of the Sakura Salvage Brainstorm. Pretty much a generic. You need it for the salvage, and since this deck searches a lot, this is probably the best Brainstormer you could play. Next, we play 3 copies of the Shiro stock swap, as well as stock swap assassin and its memory for its memory condition. So this is basically your way of answering boards as well as building pseudo compression. And then the last level 0 we're playing is 2 copies of the Shiro Summon with a Command Seal. So this is your Married Life in the deck. I know in the other build we were playing the Shiro that allowed you to clock refresh. Clock Encore. But since we're not playing that many master traits, we needed something that can give us a power pump in order to answer certain boards, since a lot of boards can easily get to 7k. So I needed to play the Married Life, since Saber Altar only at most will be a 6/5, 7 at best, and you want to make it safe to basically get almost guarantee the reverse. So I play the Married Life to help ensure that. So that's it for the level 0s. So I hope you kind of like this new format. I'm trying out something new for recording. So that's it for the 0 step. For the 1 step, we're playing 4 copies of the Saber Minami. So what she does is when she comes into play during my turn, if I have 2 or more weapon characters... Oh no, it's a continuous. So she gains +1k. So she's a 5/5 when you have 2 or more weapon or... is it weapon? Wait, let me double check. 2 or more Master Servant trait characters, and on climax combo with the Shot trigger, she gets the ability, when it reverses an opponent's character, you may reveal the top cards of your deck, select 1 Master Servant among them and add it to your hand, and then give another character +2k. So this is essentially the Minami climax combo for those who are familiar with Weiss. And the reason why I say you still kind of need the Married Life is most boards that you'll see can easily back up to 7k or even 8k on defense if they have the 2k backup, and if not, they usually have a really big board naturally. So you need to be able to guarantee the first reverse, so then you can power pump the subsequent Sabers if you try field with it. So with the Married Life, it has the effect that when you play Climax, you give a character +1000. So essentially, if you have these on the board tri-field, and let's say this is your board right here. You basically play Climax. You select either the center or the left or right, depending on the orientation, Saber, and it gains an additional plus 1k. So she's already a 6k when in front of the Shiro, plus Climax combo 7k, then plus an additional 1,000 from the Married Life effect, she becomes an 8k, which will usually get over most lanes. So it allows you to guarantee the first reverse, and then you just power pump whatever lane that you need to be sure to guarantee the reverse. So let's say you can guarantee the reverse on this second lane already, but you're not sure about the third lane. You can put the power pump to here, and she becomes, after the reverses, a... So she's going to be 5-5, 6-5. She'll be a 10-5, so she'll guarantee reverse any lane that she comes across. So the Married Life is kind of needed at the moment. If Fates had a better one-step besides the Sakura one and the Saber one, which hopefully they do in the next set, if they do release it, I hope they give us a non-interactive one. But right now, like, most of the most of the one-step Climax combos are interactive, so you kind of have to hedge your bets on making bigger boards. So, and it actually hits the same number of power with the Sakura Irreplaceable Existence. So she does the same thing. The only difference is she mills through the deck faster. So you get into first refresh a lot faster before you hit level 2. So that's a bonus with this card. So besides running the Saber Minami, I'm also playing 3 copies of the Distortion of Daily Life Sakura. So this is your clock swap. I played here because it allows me to hand fix. Since most of my you're gonna be leveling up yellow, and usually you're gonna clock green, or you're gonna level up yellow and clock yellow. You level up green or clock yellow. So you're gonna either do either of those sequences. And the reason why you want this is because it helps. Let's say you do the Saber Minami combo, and you have 2 Sabers, she becomes a 7-5, which will allow you to run over another board, another character that it's facing, and then use its clock swap effect on defense. So this allows you to make your opponent hesitate on trying to do on reverse combos, and hopefully try to play something that is a cost 1 or higher, which most of the time they won't unless they somehow are able to get their early play condition off. So this allows you to set up really good offense and really good defense, so that's why I play her. And not only that, the hand fixing is nice since you're more likely to draw multiple climaxes as you're compressing the deck, so this allows you to clean out those climaxes and get any pieces that you need. And then lastly, for the one step, we play 2 copies of Complex Emotion Rin. I decided to tech these in because Fujimi Fantasia just got released, and this helps answer standby really hard since it's a level 1 anti-change backup, and since very few sets have level 1 anti-change backups, this allows you to defend well against Fujimi when they try to do the standby board, which is actually one of the weak spots of this deck because it can't handle level 2 standbying level 2s at level 1, so you need to be able to answer it with the anti-change backup, which is nice. Speaking of level 2s, I am playing 2 copies of the Anti-Heroic Knight Rider, aka the Medusa 2-1 Assassin. So what she does is when she comes into play during your turn, she gains plus 1,000 for each master or servant character on board, and whenever a master or servant character attacks, she gains an additional plus 1,500. So she'll easily become a 13k lane when you field right, and if you play the early play Shiro, she easily can answer most early plays. And when she does reverse a level 2 or higher character, you get a blind stock, so it's free compression, and it's a free answer to stand by as well. And then lastly, for the level 2s, we play 4 copies of the Free Fresh Renin Archer. And then now for the 3-step, we play 1 copy of the, I can't remember the name already, Sword of Shrouded Wind Saber. So this is basically your bounce level 3. So it allows you to break walls. You need it because everybody and their mother plays walls, whether it's the Priestess wall, the Medusa wall, or even the Futaba wall in Albuta. So this allows you to break the bodyguard wall really nicely. We're also playing 2 copies of the early play Shiro. His early play condition is just 2 or less climaxes, and when it comes into play, you get the top 3 checks, so you get to add any card from it and send the rest to the waiting room, and when it attacks, you get to power pump another character times 500, equal to the total number of Master Servant characters on board. So this allows you to help break boards, and it's actually just a really good early play for this deck, since you're playing, you need a lot of weapon traits in order to facilitate your finish. Then for the supporting finisher, I play 3 copies, actually not 3, 2 copies of Heroic Spirit Archer and 2 copies of a Knight's Oath Saber. So this is basically your secondary finisher support if you cannot guarantee the climax for your primary finish. So the Heroic Spirit Archer is basically Yo from Love Live Sunshine. When it attacks, reveal the top card of your deck and you burn equal to the level. So this allows you to really punch for some really nice damage depending on the situation. And if you can make educated reads on your compression rate and what cards are in the deck, you can modulate how much damage you deal based on your attack order. And Musashi's here because it's a really good supplement to your finishing combo. And then speaking of finishing, we play, so I'm going to leave these aside for a sec so I can explain. 4 copies of Heroic Spirit with Complex Past Archer. So this climax combos with the stock soul. So when it comes into play, it heals. So it's a heal finisher. And when this climax is in play, you may, on attack, pay 1, discard 1 weapon or card with Rin in its name from your hand to the waiting room, and you mill the top 6 cards of your deck, and you burn 1 equal to the number of soul triggers milled from the top 6. And with this heavy soul count, which is 17 characters with souls and 8 climaxes with soul, you have about a 50% chance of hitting in most situations. And depending on how you modulate your soul trigger count in the deck, you can actually hit for really precise numbers. And pairing it with either the Musashi or the Heroic Spirit Archer, you have multiple instances of damage. So like some of the boards that I like to set up when I finish is either 2 Heroic Spirit Archers and a Musashi, or if I don't have the second copy, I would play this lineup. And basically I would try to swing with the Musashi first to bait the cancel. And if I happen to trigger the shot trigger, it's basically 2 instances of on-cancel burn. So you basically proc the burn 1 first. You either proc the mill or the burn 1, depending on your opponent's compression. And it usually will stick. One of the on-cancel burns will stick. And then you can either go swinging with the Archer to pay out the stock and clean your hand out to do the mill 6, or if you're confident that you have more characters that are level 1 or higher, you can swing with the Heroic Spirit Archer first and reveal the top card of your deck and burn equal to the level. So this, you still have about 6 instances of damage with this lineup, but usually I try to finish with this board since it's much more reliable. Since this finisher is a little bit, this supplementary finisher is very RNG based, like the Musashi. So you kind of need to, you want to limit the the randomness when you're trying to finish. And since you're playing about 25 soul triggers in this deck, you are more likely to hit these than you are to hit a sufficient number to close the game with this. But you still want to run this because of the fact that you're not going to always get the climax. But usually this is the board setup. I've sometimes did triple of this, and it also closes the game. The only problem is, since you need weapon and Rin traits, it's kind of hard to have the sufficient hand size. So sometimes I find myself going into this kind of lane, or even this lane, in order to preserve my hand size, because you don't want to discard every single card in your hand. So overall, I hope you guys like this deck profile. This deck is actually very, very underestimated and appreciated, since most people are either doing the 8 gold bar build or the one that I presented, which was a gold bar comeback trigger deck, which is nice, but it's not meta. So I hope you guys like this build of Fate Stay Night. I will be focusing on other builds of Fate Stay Night as I am testing this set to the limit, because this set actually has a lot of interesting combinations that you can do with the deck to basically push for different paths of winning the game. So I hope you guys like this deck profile. Don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, false crack the like button, and don't forget to stay on point, guys. Peace out, guys.